Look, I was in Amsterdam once, and they have all kind of drugs that are legal. You can go to a whole section there. It's called the red light district. Smoke, get high. I think they even give it to you in restaurants. I didn't, go all the way with it, but I remember I was catching a flight from Amsterdam to London, and we got the lecture saying, hey, just because drugs are legal here, it doesn't mean they're legal in London. So don't even think that you can take drugs from here. And, Amsterdam and London are not far apart. So you would think it's closest. It's like it's probably shorter between going from LA to Vegas, but you're in a whole nother country. You're on a whole different rules. And I remember when I was on that flight to London, there were some Americans that brought some drugs. And when we landed in Heathrow Airport, they were taken into custody. And I'm sure that they got the same lecture that I heard. And, and there's no way on God's green earth I'm going to try to smuggle some drugs from Amsterdam to London. But if you do that, you're going to have to pay the prices.
No doubt. It's not even just in those places. I mean, when you coming in on a cruise from even Mexico, when you coming in on a cruise, before you get back, what they do is they put the trash cans out there. They make these announcements clear. We don't care if y'all got drugs. You know what I mean? We've been partying in international waters. We don't care about that. Don't try to get off this ship with those drugs. You know what I mean? And they put baskets out there. Look, you got any leftover drugs? Just throw it in the basket. You know what I mean? Or just flush it down the toilet. Do what you're going to do, but don't bring it off the ship. And I'll be damned, man, if in 2004, I'm coming off a cruise and I'm good. You know what I mean? I smoked my little weed already. Matter of fact, left the rest because I believed them. You know what I mean? So I'm coming off the cruise, and it seemed like they randomly picked people to pull over for a minute. So they pulled me over, and they detained me. So I didn't understand what the situation was. So I've seen people go back there, and 15 minutes they release them. You know what I mean? So I said, maybe they want to search me or something. They detained me, Alex, and they 30 minutes went by, hour went by, 3 or 4 hours went by, and I'm like, hell, hold on, what's going on, man? They, one officer said, man, I don't know, and they detained me for 6 hours before they let me go.
That's crazy.
It took me until the feds picked me up to find out that what happened was I had a sealed indictment. So when I came back into the U.S., they had to get in touch with the feds to see if they wanted them to detain me. And it took them 6 hours. And by the time they got it, the feds said, no, let him go. We got it. Let him go. And that's what they ended up detaining me for. But while I was sitting in there, I seen white people, Asians, trying to bring their drugs back, and they was getting cracked.
So there were a lot of other offenders.
Man. And, like I said, mine wasn't for that. But I seen how the process worked. People trying to sneak their drug bags, man, you get cracked. Now you got a whole drug case federally, because you trying to bring back an 8-ball, you know what I mean, to sniff when you get home, and something that might have cost you a couple $100, now it's finna cost you a record and a few thousand. So.
But you guys were actually warned. Everyone said, "Hey, throw it out if you
got it, man. We not police. We just don't take it through customs. You know what I mean? So when you come in through Miami or you come in through LA, when you get to that customs, man, they serious, man.
Yeah, I've never actually taken a cruise.
Oh, okay. I was going to invite you on one. I'm going on another one end of the month.
So that cruise must have been one of the last fun things you did, because you said that was 2004.
Right. I had a ball. Hey, dog, I had a ball. It was a Super Bowl cruise. And, oh, man, we had a ball.
Because if I remember correctly, did you get popped in May of 2004?
No, I got correct in November.
Oh, November, near the end. Okay.
Yeah, but they had already had their hooks in me, So when you come back in the country, it was in the computer that this dude is, this a wanted dude. And they never told me what happened until when I got my discovery and was going through my shit. That's why they detained me at the cruise lines in
So they
Long Beach.
They detained you on a case you hadn't even been indicted yet.
Been indicted yet. Didn't have no idea what was going on. But dude kept saying, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
He's like, man, what's your social? And then he was asking me questions like, you on parole? You on probation? You on? He's like, I'm like, nah. They go back and check some more. He said, man, I'm trying to figure it out. he didn't, you know, they were trying to see what was going on, but they, at the end of the day, they knew what was up. They had to get in touch with them feds to say.
So they had your name on a list then?
They had my name on the list, man.
Wow.
Yeah, and I tripped off that, you know, and I even laughed about it while I was in jail. Like, damn, they knew all this time. And when my name hit that computer coming back into the country, hey, they say, man, hold, you know, the customs held me. And they had to wait till they got in touch with the FBI, and the FBI said, no, let him go. We got it.
Damn, that's crazy. Every time we talk about your case, it's always some new shit.
Oh yeah, man, a lot of shit was going on, man.
Yeah, so coming back, this was a cruise to Mexico?
Yeah, this was a cruise to Mexico.
So coming back from the cruise to Mexico, the U.S. Customs, I guess there was a red flag on your name.
No doubt, it popped right up. Cause soon as I come back through the lines, and as soon as I walked out of checkout, they pulled up on me deep. Excuse me, sir, this way, you know. And man, my car was left out there. By the time they let me go, the cruise ship was reboarding for another cruise to go out. I had to call my people, you know, and but at the same time, you know, I just shook my head like, damn, what was that about? You know.
And then after you went home and thought about it, did you just kind of just forget about it? Maybe they made a mistake. Maybe they thought I was a different Frank Thornton, or what?
You know what? I could never put it together. You know, and even the homies was like, what was that about, homie? I was like, I don't know. You know, I couldn't put nothing together, you know. But I did see people coming in there, getting detained for trying to bring them drugs back. And you done caught yourself a whole Fed case, you know, bringing drugs from internationally, you know, when you could have just threw that shit in the trash can, man, and bought some more when you got there. There's plenty in California, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember I was in Hawaii, and I ended up buying some edibles. And actually, I went to go buy some edibles, but this dude who was a fan of the website and the platform said, "Oh man, I got a spot for you." So he takes me, he drives me all around the island. I'm like, man, we're driving for like 30 minutes. And he takes me to the spot, and we're in this garage, a bunch of Hawaiian dudes. I don't know any of these people.
Right.
But he introduced me to everyone, and he says that, yeah, he wants to get some edibles. So this dude opens up a freezer in the garage, and it's just full of edibles. So he pulls one out, and he gives it to me, and I'm like, how much I owe you? He was like, oh, no, it's on the house. But he gave me such a huge amount of these edibles. When it was time to come back, I was like, man, I'm going to take these to L.A.
Right.
I was a little nervous, though.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, should I do it or not? So I'm in the bathroom at the airport. So I broke a part of it off because it was so big and threw it in the trash and saved some of it. And it got through.
Yeah, you can make it sometime. Yeah.
But do you think that was a risk, or that's not that bad? Because Hawaii is America. It's not a foreign country.
That's still the U.S., you know what I mean? And it's not that big, man. And, you know, at the same time, like you say, back then, you know, it's crazy how they check you when you go through the airport now. You know, I kind of think that, man, I see how people was getting shit through LAX and all these airports back in the day, because it was they just didn't have the technology that they got now. You know what I mean? And, you know, now they got a scanner that you stand in. It spins around your whole body, man, to tell you everything. They tell me, man, you got a broke leg, you got a pins in your leg. You know, they know. Back then, they just did.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a great segue, because we now know that the reason why what was the shipping company that you were on? Was it Carnival?
Carnival, yeah, it was a Carnival cruise.
Okay,
yeah.
So we now know why the U.S. Customs and Border Enforcement held you up for what, 5 hours?
6
man, hours.
I counted them, man. It was long.
Hey, when they held you up, did they have you just chilling, or did they cuff you? Or
nah, they had me in a cell, like just chilling. You know, the door was open. They kept coming back. You know, agents kept coming back saying, "Dude, we trying to get you out of here."
Yeah.
You know, they was polite and all that. I believe it was over some of their heads.
Yeah.
They kept coming back, man, what's your social number, man? You got a junior on your name, man? You know, and they was trying to, like, for a minute, I really believe they was trying to figure it out.
No, they probably didn't have all the information on it, because U.S. Customs and Border, they're kind of like the bottom of the Fed agencies. You know, it's the CIA and the FBI.
Right.
They're the top dogs, and all the other alphabet organizations are below them. So they probably weren't really privy to everything that was going on, and then they finally got a call saying, "Hey, yeah, he's under investigation, but he's currently not indicted. You can let him go." But why would it take 6 hours to get that call?
Man, it took them 6, man. You know, and like I say, well, I had talked about it. Remember the cruise we went on? Yeah, they had to tell my ass 6 hours. You know, and because even the homies like, "What you had?" You know what I mean? Dude, I ain't had nothing. You know, and like I say, we left it alone.